Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Is this a creepy child movie?
Sorta.
Is it a creepy doll movie?
Sorta.
Is it at least a movie?
That it is.
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And this week we're doing our second, can't really call them horror movies. So we're calling them family Halloween movies. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't a creepy factor to
These movies.
some of them. Not all of them necessarily, but like this one definitely.
And there definitely was about last week's too.
I mean, we were just told by one of the people that works here at the studio when he saw this, it
as
creeped
a child,
him out.
it creeped him out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for those who haven't seen it, we're reviewing Coraline, based on a Neil Gaiman novel.
Indeed.
And basically this little girl doesn't like where she's staying. She's feeling lonely. Her parents are kind of ignoring her because they're so busy with their lives.
Oh, they're poor, by the way.
And she discovers a door that brings her to the same house with her parents, but they're slightly different. They're much more pleasant.
Sometimes.
Or are they? Without giving everything,
Right.
giving anything away for the two people on the planet that
Who haven't seen this that want to.
Right. And like if you grew up and this was this was something that you missed out on, definitely you should see it.
Yes.
We try not to give too many spoilers, but like sometimes it happens just in conversation. So.
And on the off chance that we spoil something in this movie, it is over a decade-old long kids movie.
So.
Basically.
All right. But before we tell you a lot of behind-the-scenes information about this movie,
Indeed.
what we need to do is get paid. See, every week.
But before we get paid, like we do every other week of this show.
Don't mind me.
We show
doing it
you
wrong. The trailer. Yes, do that first.
Coraline Jones always dreamed of finding a better world. A world more exciting than this. But never did she imagine that she'd discover it in her own home. A parallel place.
We've been waiting for you, Coraline.
Where parents are always fun.
I love your garden! Can't believe you did this!
And everything is so good.
What's shaking, baby?
It just can't be real.
Mom? You're just in time for supper, dear.
You're not my mother. My mother doesn't have...
buttons? Do you like them? I'm your other mother, silly.
You probably think this world is a dream come true.
My name!
dream!
But you're wrong.
You do like it here, don't you, Coraline? You could stay here forever. There's one tiny little thing we need to do. Black is traditional.
She's got this whole world where everything's better, but it's all a trap.
You may come out when you've learned to be a loving daughter.
From Henry Selick, the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, comes a world of extraordinary imagination. Spooky secrets.
Who are you?
You're in terrible danger, girl.
And daring discoveries.
I still have to find my parents. To set them free?
This year, when adventure comes knocking,
Choo-choo.
there are some doors that should never be opened. Coraline, written for the screen and directed by Henry Selick, presented in Real D 3D.
Well, all right. Now,
For those things that he was doing prior to us doing the things in the correct order.
yes, I'm a little tired, so I was doing things incorrectly. Oops. The two people I know that are going to watch this are going to go,
Yep.
and that's not even us, sadly.
Whatever.
So why would we watch a thing that we're in? We were there when we made it.
Yeah, I already know how this ends.
By the time other people, never mind. But what we're really here for, unlike the belief of many, is not to review scary, creepy movies, or in this case, family movies that are also creepy. No. It's to sell ourselves for large sums of cash. And the way we do that is by putting our feelers out there to actual companies that really exist, that coincidentally seem to always have something to do with the movies we're watching.
It's weird.
In reviewing, it's weird, yeah. But then we cash big checks and we promote their products right here on the show. This week, Gory Storytime is brought to you by Everything You Needle, the brick and mortar store that supplies all your sewing and other crafting needs. No matter the project, if it's a craft, we got you covered. It may just be your neighbor's grandma's sister's favorite store. Thimbles, thread, buttons, glue, fabrics, wood, paints, canvases, needles, and more. Move over, Michaels, and heck no, Hobby Lobby. We prefer Everything You Needle. Crafty things for crafty people.
All right. And by Alternate Realty. We specialize in selling 2 homes for the price of 1. Our founders discovered a way to travel to a parallel universe that is exactly like ours, but with approximately half as many people as here. We sell houses with literal doors to that universe, and we do so without charging more than our closest competition with only 1 house for you. Alternate Realty, the Portal People.
All right. Now, anything else you want to mention about this prior to getting into the behind-the-scenes stuff?
Not specifically.
Okay. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
Sure, I can.
All righty.
The character YB Lovat is not in Neil Gaiman's novel. He was created so Coraline would not have to talk to herself, and so she would have a friend her own age.
Over 130 sets were built across 52 different stages at the studios, spanning 183,000 square feet. The 52 different stages were the most ever deployed for a stop-motion animated feature.
The on-screen snow was made from superglue and baking soda.
There were 24 different puppets of Coraline used in the making of this movie. Each one took 10 individuals and 3 to 4 months to construct.
Wow. Initially, the film was going to be live action, and Dakota Fanning was actually going to physically portray Coraline. When it was decided instead to make a stop-motion animated film, Fanning was asked if she would still be interested in providing Coraline's voice. She said yes, as she thought it would be fun to do, and grew even more excited when she saw what Coraline was going to look like.
At 1 hour and 40 minutes long, it was the longest stop-motion film until Kubo and the Two Strings in 2016, also made by Leica, Laika.
The face on the dollar bill given to the mover for a tip is director Henry Selick.
The leaves in the scene where Coraline is returning to the well were created by spraying popcorn pink and cutting it up into little pieces.
The band that They Might Be Giants wrote 10 songs for the movie, but a change in tone from a musical to a darker production meant that all but 2 were cut. One, when Coraline's other father sings along with the piano, features John Linnell's voice, and the other is during the end credits. The band has said they will release the other songs created for the movie and other projects, including albums.
One crew member was hired specifically to knit miniature sweaters and other clothing for the puppet characters using knitting needles almost as thin as human hair.
All right. Mr. Babinski is wearing the Russian Hero Medal for service at the Chernobyl nuclear disaster on April 26, 1986, which reads on the front, participant in the cleanup campaign. The 4A36 indicates...
C, not 6. 4A36.
C. Chernobylskaya nuclear power plant.
Chernobylskaya,
yes.
Yeah, whatever.
This medal is unique as it is the only medal in the world awarded for participation in a nuclear cleanup. That might explain the skin complexion and odd behavior.
Neil Gaiman said that out of all film and TV adaptations of his books, Coraline is his favorite.
Coraline.
That's what I meant. I said a real name, sorry.
The first stop-motion animated feature to be entirely in 3D, shot entirely in 3D.
In the initial recording session, Dawn French played the role of Miss Spink and Jennifer Saunders played Miss Forcible. However, director Henry Selick wasn't satisfied with the result, so he had French and Saunders switch roles and re-record their parts. These second recordings were used in the film, which might explain why the characters resemble the actresses who did not provide the voice.
All right. The other mother is always humming one of the soundtrack songs while she cooks.
The film Coraline was shot over the course of 18 months following 2 years of pre-production.
Sounds about right. Near the end of the film, Coraline's father is reenacting the famous Facehugger scene from Alien using Coraline's stuffed squid.
The 2 members of the Ranft Bros moving company that moves Coraline's family into their home are named for the brothers Jerome Ranft and Joe Ranft. Both brothers did work on Nightmare Before Christmas with director Henry Selick. The mover at the front door, who was given the $1 tip, is modeled after Joe Ranft.
The model of the father was based on Ted Raimi.
And at one point in the movie, Coraline shows 16 different expressions in a span of 35 seconds.
That must have taken at least a month to do.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, no. I've forgotten again to get this before the show.
I'll give an explanation.
Yes.
We like to give the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and again, for anyone watching for their first time, Rotten Tomatoes doesn't actually rate the movies. When they give a score, what they're doing is they're taking the positive and negative reviews that are out there from professionals, not us, and they give you a percentage of the reviews that are positive. And then... so that's what the number is. It's whatever the percentage of positive reviews are. And then they have an option for the audience to vote, and they give you the percentage of positive likes or whatever for the people. So you go first.
So the critics have this movie at 90%.
And the people have it at 73%. Both are considered good scores, but... it's weird that the people don't like it as much as the critics, considering the critics tend to go harder on creepy things, horror things, comedy things. They're not great fans of children's stuff unless there's some deep message, politically charged message in it. But whatever.
Yeah. So that's that part.
All right. And now we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite scenes. What was your least favorite scene in Coraline?
Okay. So there's like a play that she's watching in the other version of Home.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this super ugly fat woman with her things basically out. And I didn't like that. It wasn't pleasurable for me.
I mean, it was weird considering this was aimed kind of at younger folks.
Like, I think she was all but naked.
I mean, not quite, but I mean, it was pretty revealing. And it is odd in a kid's movie.
Not pleasant.
I will say. All right. Well, my least favorite thing or scene or something, I would say, is the idea that, boy, how should I put it? I'm trying to figure out how to word it, because I really like this movie, so I'm kind of
it's pretty good.
nitpicking a little bit. Boy, I guess what I don't like is that, and this is just because I prefer dogs, the cat should have been a talking dog. Just because of my personal preference. Yep, I'm that nitpicky.
Actually, you know what? I would have even believed Keith David?
Yep.
Keith David's voice more from a dog than a cat.
Yeah, see?
So, yeah, that's completely unbelievable.
Because you know what he's not?
Exactly. Exactly. We censored ourselves.
Anyway, what was your favorite scene?
Probably towards the end when she's deciding that she no longer wants to be in the other world. And she's trying to, spoiler alert, escape the monstrous evil creature that is the other mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she's crawling through the wormhole thing that gets back into the universe. I think it just looks so cool, the way she's being chased by the hand.
Mm-hmm.
Very awesome.
All right. I would say my favorite part probably, and this is, again, I got to pick out of a lot of good stuff.
Right.
I think it was really cool when, as she was beating that other mom in the game that she had agreed to, the world that was built just to impress her started falling apart, literally, and leaving just white.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty sweet.
Like it wasn't colored in anymore.
Yeah, it was just like...
Very cool.
Yeah, I liked it.
Very, very cool.
All right.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the equivalent of, someone hauling off and kicking you square between the legs.
Okay.
Or...
So maniac.
Or 10, where, how should I put this in case kids watch this? Because we... receiving the kind of attention that Ray received in that scene in Ghostbusters.
So Ryan Reynolds is telling me that Deadpool 3 is coming out.
Okay, yes.
Yes. That feeling I got. Okay. I'm probably going to give this an 8.
8?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 7.5. Not because it's not really good, but because, I don't know, it's a weird juxtaposition to have kids movie and creepy factor, and it
it's so much.
I liked it. I liked
both.
It. Yeah, I mean, a friend of mine, her daughter models, and just recently did a model shoot as Coraline, and had one of her friends playing the other mother with the button eyes and everything. I showed you a couple of the pictures, and it was pretty cool. It's definitely worth a watch. I would say, it's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't consider it the same as like A, B, C grades. I would say it's like a solid B, B+.
Which would be like an 80.
Okay, fine.
So an 8.
Fine. I guess I'm going up to 8.
Look at that.
But I wasn't using it as the same scale, but whatever.
Yeah, well, I am.
Anywho, now what do we do?
Very good. Very good. But over there's words that I read every week.
There are.
No, go look at them. So, you could watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can also find us on Facebook, and by that I mean find Gory Storytime, and you can always go and find Fact TV, the place where we make Gory Storytime, because they have a lot of cool stuff that local talent comes in and films. You know, there's someone here today that, you know, filmed like a movie. I mean, it was a 45-minute movie. It was a little short, but it was still like, that was also a creepy thing too. You know, there's people that come in and do other movie reviews that aren't horror necessarily. There's been sports talk. There's been lots of stuff over the years. There's local news stuff. So just definitely, if you're in this area, like them on Facebook. They live stream a lot of really cool stuff.
Indeed. You can also go to fact8.com and watch a bunch of the back episodes of this and many other pieces of information, entertainment.
Yes.
That they have up on their website. There's many other shows with us in them.
That's true. I'm also going to suggest that you check me out on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
I am at Jiggly Firm Brain. I only tweet things that I find amusing that he says, either in or out of context, usually out of context.
Because that's usually what's funnier.
Indeed.
And then, check out my YouTube channel. It's Juggalo Jakes. Just look for Gory Storytime. It'll come up with mine, and it'll come up with Fact TV's. Just like and subscribe. Help out local entertainment providers.
Us. Help us out.
Yes. Because we're really not making that much money off of those fake real commercials.
We are. Boatloads of cash, but
yeah, you can tell by the fact that this is like the 15th time in this last couple of weeks that I've worn this shirt.
Send lots of money to 123 fake address.
Anyway. All right. So that seems about it, right?
Indeed. So until next week, with our third of our four, I will be your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.